excited? You ready to talk about love? She said, that was good, bitch. Actually, you know what? I'm done saying that. I do know what I'm doing here. I'm here to make a difference. I want to create a safe space for anyone who feels like they're starting over. If you're like me and you're about to enter your 30s and you have no idea what you're doing, this is the podcast for you. We're figuring it out together, babe. I love a little TikTok. That should work. Look. Looks like a little chode.
Just talk right into it.
No, it picks up everything. I was scared because this fan like squeaks. And I was like, I think it's going to be like in the background going.
Like, what are they doing back there?
But welcome, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of Lonely But Love the Pod. I am Deja, your host. We have another guest here. I feel like I've had a couple of guests in a row, so I'm excited. But today we have Miss Carrie Couture. She was a work friend, turned into a closer friend, and now we're cool, okay? There was a little rocky, but now we're cool. Okay? You know, guys, girls.
It happens.
No, it does happen. As you can tell, you guys, this is a Valentine's Day episode because this is coming out, obviously, around Valentine's Day. I think the week of Valentine's Day it comes out. So just got a little cute little stuff. A lot of the stuff I had in my house, which is alarming. Like, why do I have, like, I have a lot of Halloween decorations and Valentine's decorations. I don't know why. Like, why was this in my home? It's okay. It's okay.
It's
cute. That was in my home.
Did you buy the gnomes for this?
I did buy the gnomes for this and that.
I would be a little bit, like, weirded out if you just had random gnomes. Like,
I bought them, honestly, because they were black.
Oh.
And she had little braids.
That's so cute.
So I was like, okay, girl, we love you. DEI ain't gone all the way, babe.
Okay, Dollar Tree.
Oh, no, dead ass. Dead ass Dollar Tree. Because they had a lot of shit, though. I went to Walmart today to get an air filter, and then I was like, ooh, let me see what Dollar Tree got. And girl, did they. But today we're going to be talking all things love. Love in relationships, love in friendships, the whole nine. We're going to do the regular segments. You guys are going to see it all. We're going to get into it. Princess always wants to be involved. She's probably going to sit right here. Yep. My girl. My girl. Oh. You're so sweet. You just want to be with the girls. Look.
Oh.
Literally, I could die. Speaking of love. No, I'm kidding. I brought Carrie on today. Well, one, we were at a party and Carrie was like, I feel like I would be good on the pod. And I was like, yeah, you would. My girl loves a camera. And her conversation is very good. She's a book girly, so you know she could talk. She's a Leo, which we love our Leos. We do love our freaking Leos. So we're just going to talk all things. Give us a little background a little bit. Like, starting off, obviously, like I just said, we met at work, the job I quit. If you guys aren't aware, but we worked at the same company for a little bit, and Princess, and we got close, like in a group, like in a close knit of girls. And we got close and we started hanging out. We did girls' day, like girls' nights. We did Galentines. It was just like a cute little group. You know what I mean? And so she also is dating someone who used to work with us. So I thought it'd be cool to bring her on today, talk all things love within friendships, relationships, get into it, ask you some questions. I found some funny ass stories that I want like your perspective on.
Okay.
Because people in relationships are hilarious. And I'm not in a relationship. And so I feel like it'll be a good little perspective jump there. But if you want to just go ahead and give a little bit of background on you, because, well, I mean, you don't have to go, like, into it. You don't have to do, like, I was 4, and now, you know what I mean? like, you don't have to do that. But this is a podcast all about, like, being in your lonely era, kind of embracing it, and just coming out stronger on the other end, because I feel like a lot of people, they get stuck in that era, but I feel like if you embrace it, it would be a lot better. So if you just want to like start off, tell me a little bit about your lonely era, if you've had one. How was it? Scale of 1 to 10. 1 being terrible, 10 being amazing.
I would say that like I went through phases of having a terrible time being alone. And then also, I would say, like, as I got older, I kind of was able to spend a little bit more time, like, figuring out me. And that's when I really, like, leaned into the loneliness or whatever. And I was like, okay, I'm going to develop my hobbies. I'm gonna figure out like what makes Carrie tick, like what makes me happy.
Yeah.
And I feel like the last probably like 3 or 4 years, like before I got into a relationship, that's when I really was like, okay, shit, like I'm so comfortable being alone right now. Like it's gonna take someone like pretty spectacular to change the way I'm living my life right now. Because I spent like, I mean, Joe's my first relationship, so like I spent pretty like a long time being single, and so I think when you're single for that long, like it can feel super isolating and like
it does.
Like, is there something wrong with me? Like, what's wrong? Why does everyone around me have a partner?
Yeah.
But then that's when I got to a point where I was like, I don't want to be like the sad girl who stays inside and
literally
does nothing, or, like,
literally
is on her phone all the time or whatever.
Literally.
So then I was like, okay, well, I have, you know, all these interests. Like, I love to read. I love like thrifting. I love, you know, baking. Like all these other things that I was like, I like it, but I don't do it enough. And so I was like, okay, let me put my phone down and let me explore some of these other things. And that's when I really was like, okay, like I'm comfortable being alone because I have all this stuff that like makes me happy. So that's when I would say like my lonely era, I feel like I was like pretty thriving. Like
period.
In a good place.
Because I feel like it does start out a little, it's like a little dreary.
Yeah.
It's like, what is happening?
Yeah. Especially for me, like growing up, I always was like the sidekick friend. So like my friend would be in a relationship, and so I would just be kind of like the third wheel for everything.
Literally same.
Yep. And so like if that's all you're really aware of, then I think it's really easy to kind of like retreat into yourself, and then you know, you're shy and everything. But then I was like, I'm a freaking Leo. Like, I'm going to pop out of my shell. And, you know, I discovered that I'm like a undercover Disney adult, which may or may not be a good thing.
Yo, I feel like I'm low-key turning into one because me and my family keep going every year.
It's so
and, like,
fun.
every year I go, I'm like, okay, this shit is fun.
It's so fun, but also just, like, when I'm there, I'm like, this is so fun, and I feel like a kid again.
Literally.
And, like,
you don't have to worry about anything.
No, like, I have, like, 5 or 6 pairs of like custom ears that I've gotten.
Stop. I really want the Goofy hat with the goofy ears. I want that so bad. I bought a Goofy movie shirt for this year.
I love it.
I'm like, okay, I'm actually getting into it because now I'm like planning my outfits. I'm like, okay, I think I'm liking this.
Yes. That's what makes it fun, is just like, you know, making it, it's not just like going and riding a bunch of rides. Like the atmosphere, and it just feels so magical. So stuff like that, like growing up, I kind of like turned my nose down at stuff like that, but then I got to an age where I was like, who am I impressing?
Yeah.
What do I care?
Yeah.
If I like this, like same thing with Taylor Swift. Yeah, I hate her over
I do not like Taylor Swift, but I love a lot of people in my life who love Taylor Swift, so I have to deal with it.
Yeah, but that was another thing. It's just like, I know some people may not like her or what she stands for or whatever, but I love her. The
thing is, though, I like her and I like her values and her morals, but her music is fucking terrible.
Yeah, which is fair.
But everything else about her, I like.
Yeah, I like you know, being in a crowd with all of her fans.
Yeah.
And just feeling like you have a community there, and like the friendship.
Wait, because you went to the tour, right?
Yeah, I went to the concert. Yeah, it was great.
Damn.
It was so good.
That part about it is cool because the community part of it is cool.
Yeah, and like the planning your outfits and like making a whole weekend out of it, like going with your girlfriends, like, you know, we all dressed as a different album, so like we had that,
okay.
like, group aspect. So that's like the kind of stuff, like as I've gotten older, kind of leaning into like the aspects of being a girl.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that, and I'm like,
I love that.
Makes me so happy.
I love that, leaning into being a girl. I feel like I didn't do that my whole life, and then I started like, I don't know, growing up, I guess.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I like pink. I like my nails being done. Like, I like doing my makeup. And, like, as a kid, bitch, I was in the dirt. I was playing with the lizards. I was, like, literally running around like a little boy. Don't get me wrong. I still love acting like a little boy. But, like, because, like, I do, down to my core, I feel like I'm a little boy. I feel like that is very true because that's where I found a lot of my girliness was when I was in that loneliness of like trying to figure myself out.
Yep.
What I like, and that was a good point you made about, and when you are alone, you are able to figure out your hobbies and what you like, what music you like, what you like to do, where you like to go, what books you like to read.
Yeah.
And so I think it is important, and I think it is something that I don't know, people can learn from, and that's why I did start this, is because I feel like people look at people who are in their lonely era or who are alone or may feel lonely. I feel like everyone looks at it as like a bad thing.
Yeah.
But like I've personally always looked at it as like such a good thing, because like one, I've always, like growing up, always been around a lot of people. My family's so big, like there's just always something fucking going on. It's literally like a TV show. I'm like, okay, where are we going next? And so I've always craved being alone, so I could figure out the things that make me tick, the things that I like, the people who I want to hang out with. Because like when you're around a bunch of people at all times of the day and like hearing other opinions or seeing life through other people's eyes instead of focused on your own, it's like hard to, I don't know, figure out who you are really.
Yeah, and I think also like just the way that our society is, like they place a lot of importance on getting married, having a family.
Yes.
And for women, there's so many other things that we can celebrate and be excited for other than that portion of our lives.
Exactly.
So like if you're not in a relationship, like that's fine. Like you have all this other stuff going for you, vacations and
you got time. You
and,
can save some money.
Yeah. So I just like, I mean, I say that I'm also very excited for that portion of my life.
Yeah.
But I just, like, when other people who are single and they, like, constantly gripe about, like, oh, like, I don't have a partner, I don't have this. And then I ask them, I'm like, what do you do for fun? Like, what do you do outside of, you know, looking for your partner or whatever? And then if they say, like, well, I don't really do much, like, I don't really go out. And I'm like, well, let's figure out what you like to do, and let's figure out, because your life should be, like, not complete, but, like, you should find someone who complements your life, and they don't have to, you know, you don't have to wait around and have them come in and, like, be a huge thing.
Yeah, like fix something.
Yeah.
Like, they should be an addition to what you already have.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I totally agree with that, because a lot of people do sit around and, like, and that was me for a long time. I was like, why are all my friends in relationships and I'm not, and, like, would sit around and feel sorry for myself, but it's like, bitch, like, your man ain't about to be the postman.
Yeah.
Like, you got to get out and do things and do hobbies and find people in your community, because, like, that's how you'll find people. But I don't know. I feel like also I am a big homebody, though.
Yeah, that's
like,
totally fine.
I'm a big homebody, so maybe my man is going to have to be the postman, because if I, like, Erna said she was going out for her birthday and invited me and Vic, and I was like, first of all, I'm not going. And then Vic was like, do you want to go? And I was like, do you want to go? Because I was like, I don't really go out anymore and do those things. So, like, when I do get invited, I'm like, But I do agree, you can find love in other places, I feel like.
Well, yeah, because you're super active. Like, you go to the gym. Like, you're, like, going places. You might spend a lot of time at home, but, like, you're still, like, active, and you put time and effort into your hobbies. So you can always meet people through that way.
That is true. I don't know if I'm ready to meet anybody, but
when you're ready.
When I'm ready, yeah. Maybe that'll...
when the right person comes along.
No, dead ass, because I got a lot of work to do, so I know they have a lot of work to do. Because I'd be damned if I've been single for 30 years and then somebody come up to me wanting something and they're the wrong person.
Yeah.
Hell no. What I've been working for all these years.
You gotta earn this.
No, dead ass, though. I feel like a lot of people, like... And I think that's one reason why I've been so hesitant with dating and, like, trying to get to know people, is because I've seen so many people in my life, like, jump from relationship to relationship, and it's always been fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And I'm like... and I have divorced parents, and you know the whole 9, divorced grandparents, so you know, but I feel like that has been a huge factor, because I've seen so many quote unquote not bad examples, but just like things I wouldn't do or wouldn't stand up for.
Right.
But I feel like a lot of people don't embrace that lonely era or embrace like the time they have with themselves to figure out themselves, so they like search for it in array of people, like a lot of people, and it's like, slow down, babe, slow down.
Yeah, I think like being single for a long time or being in your lonely era, like you can go one of two ways. Like one, you can kind of, like I said, like lean into what makes you happy and like have a still really full life. Yeah. And that way, when someone great does come along, then you're like, oh wow, like I would rather give up my like independence and like have this person be part of my life than like lose them. Or you can go the other route and you can just like, someone comes along and you've been single for so long that you just like settle because
just like, oh sure,
you're like, okay, this person wants me, which I feel like a lot of people do.
Yeah, because I feel like as humans, we want to be wanted.
Yeah,
and
we want to be loved.
Yeah. I feel like that's all our end goal is to be loved and accepted by somebody.
Yeah.
But I just think some people need to love themselves a little more first and give them that time. Yeah. Like, it does suck being alone and, like, and it has to be hard going from dating, I would say, to not dating and then being in that lonely era or being in alone. Like, I feel like that would be a hard transition. So I'm not going to, like, speak on that because I've never done it. But I feel like it would be such a hard transition. And I feel like that's why a lot of people, you know, go back to their ex or go back to things that's not so... Yeah, but like y'all are better and healthier now. People leave toxic relationships and then get right back in the same toxic relationship. It's like, girl, that really wasn't the plan. So, but I think it's because people didn't take the time to figure out what they like and who they are. And I think that's huge. Like, I think that's really huge for people to, like, learn and cling on to. So if you're watching and you made it this far, it's like the 7th episode, babe, spend some time alone. Read a book. Which we're going to get into books because I'm into reading now. Yay. And Carrie's into reading. And like in our earlier in our friendship, I really wasn't into it. I was like, reading's not my thing. And I would always see everybody with their Kindles and, you know, reading spicy books and book talk. Book talk roped me in, y'all. I got some, like, I think I got like 4 books under my belt. Woo! That are not self-help books, which is like really big for me.
I've never read a self-help book.
Girl, it gets crazy, let me tell you. It gets crazy. It's like, it's really good, but then honestly, low key, like I was reading only self-help books for like 4 years and it got so boring. Because it's just all the same shit, just written a different way. It's like the Bible. It's like just the same shit over and over again. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I always like cringe internally when I meet someone else who's a reader and they're like, oh my God, like what are some of your favorite books? And I'm like going into like my little romances and stuff and I'm like, what about you? And it's like all like nonfiction or like super
they're like Tony Robbins.
And I'm like, oh fuck. Like, please don't look at my Goodreads.
I'm a physical book girly though. I figured that out.
Okay.
I feel like I like...
I'm a Kindle girl.
Yeah.
I used to be a physical book person. Like, I was like, I like the feeling of turning the page.
Same.
But then I, like, went on vacation, and I had, like, 6 books lugging around with me, and then I was maybe I'll try a Kindle. And then I bought a Kindle last year, and it was, like, the best thing.
Game over.
Best thing I ever did. It's the cute, like, green one.
Oh, yeah.
So
do you have stickers and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
See, being a book girl is fun. That's why that's why I'm getting into it.
You can get cases and stickers and charms.
And they have pop sockets and shit too.
Pop sockets are actually really helpful.
Because they're a little bigger though than like your phone, right?
Yeah.
A little wider.
Yeah, they're not super heavy, but like I sit and read for hours, so I'll be in different positions and I'm like, damn. Like, Joe bought me an arm that, like, connects to our bed so I can have my Kindle, like, in the arm, and I have, like, a little remote.
What, it changes the page?
Yeah.
Stop. I think Callie has one of those.
Yeah, she does.
Stop.
I texted Callie, and I was like, don't judge me, but, like, I know this is really lazy, but I really want to get this, like, remote thing that, like, you can turn the pages of the Kindle. And she was like, OMG. And then she sent me back a picture of her in a recliner. And she literally was laying back like this with the Kindle, like, remote.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, oh, she's got it all.
See, that's one thing. I haven't been able to get to the point where I'm, like, reading for hours. I'm like, oh, my God. I could do, like, a chapter.
Yeah. Well, I say that you'd get there, but some people aren't like that. So,
yeah.
Which is fine. Like,
yeah.
I think I border on unhealthy, so...
Everything is healthy in moderation.
Yeah.
In moderation, people. My cousin was telling me that, like, if you read a book for a long time, it's basically like being on your phone. I'm like, I don't think that's true.
It's different.
Right?
Yeah.
There's no blue light. There's no, like...
Yeah.
Your brain isn't being fried. But I guess it's like, are you reading for brain rot at that point, though?
Yeah, that's what...
You know?
I made the point once where I was... Because Joe was, like, playing video games, and I was like, at least I'm reading. And he was like, you're reading smut. And I was like, I'm still reading. My brain is exercising.
That's true. That is true. You're reading words. Hey, but video games help your hand-eye coordination, so he could argue that.
Yeah, you must be a fucking pro by now.
I was thinking the other day, I was like, I'm going to stream, like, and play a video game just for fun. Like, I don't even play video games, but I feel like
you should do that for an episode.
Right?
Have
like
Joe on. You guys can scream together.
Why do boys scream at the TV?
Oh my god, he does that. He'll be like a little bit more considerate if I'm reading or something. Like, he'll try and keep it down, but it's so jarring. He's like, come on!
No, like, what is the point of that?
I don't know. I think they just get really worked up and they have to let it out.
But see, that's the little boy in me I was talking about, because when I was little, I would scream at the video games, I would break the Game Boys, you know, I would throw the Wii, you know? Like, so I...
That is really a little boy of you.
No, it was very little boy of me. My mom would be like, you have problems. I used to, like, snap the Game Boys in half.
Sounds like anger issues.
No, seriously. And then I'd be like, Shantae, let me see your Game Boy. And she'd give me it, and then I'd get pissed, and then I'd break hers, and then...
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe I am a little boy.
Got a lot of anger inside you.
Not now, obviously.
That's good.
But also, I don't know, though, because I was playing a little video game over, like, Thanksgiving, Christmas break, and I was getting a little pissed. I was like, someone needs to take this out of my hand.
I'm gonna break it.
No, I was like, I'm getting fucking pissed. I don't like losing.
Yeah.
I don't like losing. That's not fun. That's not fun. Okay, let's get into the questions. The questions of the mother. Back in the day on Call Her Daddy, she used to have a segment like that.
Yeah, that's when I used to listen.
She was like, questions of the day.
I miss it when it was like that.
I know. I really do miss the old Call Her Daddy. It was very good. Mm-hmm. Did you watch the last one with the girl from The Bachelor?
Rachel?
Yeah.
No, I didn't, but Vic told me about it.
I know. I started it, but I didn't watch all of it, and I was like...
It's wild.
Wild.
Ladies, don't let a man treat you like that.
No, men are diabolical. Men are diabolical. Backstory. I'm going to just do a synopsis for you guys, if you don't know. These two people dating on The Bachelor, blah, blah, blah. He picked her at the end. Didn't propose to her, which should have been a red flag. But, like, low-key really understand that, though, because how are you going to engage somebody after 3 weeks anyways?
Right.
So I kind of feel that. But then they dated, but then they broke up again because, I don't know, some shit came out about her being racist or some shit. I don't really fucking know the whole thing. But then they broke up. Then they got back together. They dated for, like, 4 or 5 years. They were in Tokyo together. She had to leave Tokyo early to go to a baby shower. He breaks up with her right before she gets on a 12-hour flight. And then posts a breakup post as she's on the plane. She didn't get to tell her family or anything. So when she gets off this 12-hour flight, her phone is fucking blowing up. And everyone's like, what's going on? And then she has to deal with the media of it all, too.
Yeah. Apparently, he's, like, really religious. And so, like, he had sex with her, but he said they couldn't live together. So they never lived in the same place. And then... This is
what?
Like, people have their own religious beliefs, like whatever. I think that's kind of bullshit, but
that is bullshit.
But apparently they dated for that whole time, and she was like waiting for him to propose. And when he broke up with her, he told her that she didn't have the qualities he saw in his future wife. And I'm like, you knew this going
the whole
like,
time.
Your relationship, like you just led that girl on and
for
she's
4 years.
Gorgeous.
Like, no, she really is.
Beautiful.
I never paid attention to The Bachelor, so I didn't know.
I actually, because I went to school at Florida State, and like there's like a huge like Southern college culture down there.
Yeah.
And she went to like one of the Southern schools, like I don't know if it was Georgia or Alabama, one of those schools.
Yeah.
But she had like a huge Instagram following because she was like hot and she'd like go to tailgates and stuff, like football games. And so I followed her back then.
Stop.
And then when I saw her on The Bachelor, I was like, she looks really familiar. And then I went to her Instagram and I was like, oh yeah. She was just so pretty and like she is
like, very pretty.
One of those girls that I'm like, I just want to see what she's wearing, like what she's up to.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That
like,
fucking sucks, dude.
I can't even imagine like dating this man who you think you're gonna marry for 4 years.
Oh god.
And then for him to just tell you, not even like, you know, our relationship has run its course, like you don't have the qualities I'm looking for in my wife.
Then why were you dating me?
She told me the story at work the other day, and I literally was like, I would go to jail. Like, I would kill that man.
I'm cutting his dick off and throwing it. Like, what are you for? Then what was 4 or 5 years for then?
Yeah. And they made, like, food content together. Like,
that's how I knew about them first is because I always saw them post on TikTok. I did not know they were from The Bachelor or anything.
I think he just, like, used her for his content. Like, he knew that people liked watching them together, and so he was just like...
That's fucked up.
But apparently, I saw someone say that they had, like, seen them out in public, because people are always like, how... They're, like, insanely fit people. Like, how are they eating all this food?
Yeah.
And they said that they would take, like, a bite of the food and then toss it in the trash. Yeah, that's not confirmed. That's just something
I honestly believe it, though, because, like, when all the whole TikTok ban thing was going on, there was a bunch of creators coming out and being like, oh, well, since this app is going away, like, let's just spill our secrets.
And I'm like, we're still going to follow you on Instagram.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why would they fucking do that? A lot of y'all's influencers are fake as fuck. Like, a lot of y'all's favorite influencers, one, are racist, and two, fake as fuck. So, y'all need to stop making the wrong people famous because... And then they're always surprised. They're like, oh my God, why is this person terrible?
Yeah.
Girl, you couldn't tell?
At this point, if you become famous, you should just wipe your Twitter history.
Yeah, you should just delete, like,
don't be racist first, but, like, also, just as a precaution, wipe that shit. Start from scratch.
Honestly, the PR teams need to be better because if you see a creator blowing up and you're like, oh, I want to be your management, that's the first thing you should do is check their fucking Twitter history.
Right.
Because honestly, even if you're 13 or 14, this generation is not cutting it. We don't give a fuck when you're racist. So stop tweeting shit.
Yeah.
And PR teams get better. We're sick and tired of seeing this shit. Yeah. But y'all also need to make better people famous because we don't have a good track record in America. And everyone's so shocked. But no, I saw this food influencer. She came out. I mean, she pretends to eat so much fucking food. And this girl is skinny as fuck. And she came out and was like, I did not eat all that food. I'm like, but apparently she would always bring her friends with her and they would all eat the food together. Mm. But it's like in the video, it looks like she's eating every fucking thing on her plate. But it's like also, how dumb are we to believe all of that?
Right.
I'm one of those people.
It's on us, I guess.
I'm a consumer of the internet who believes pretty much everything. So just the thought that something could be real intrigues me. So I like to play along and be like, yeah, that's real. And then when it's not real, I'll just be like, I knew it wasn't real.
Yeah, I knew the whole time.
I'm smart. I'm playing the game. I'm not letting y'all fool me, you guys. Okay, so going back to the questions. So I feel like you kind of touched on this a little bit, but what was dating what was dating like for you growing up? I feel like we might have similar answers to this.
Yeah. Non-existent, no. So growing up, I come from a military household, so we moved around every 3 years. So I know for a lot of people who grow up like that, like, it makes them very extroverted because they kind of have to, like, be out there and, like, you know, able to make new friends and everything. But it kind of had the opposite effect on me where I kind of, like, became just super introverted and shy. So...
Yeah, it's probably intimidating, like, going and being in new schools and, like, trying to meet new people. Like, that would probably make me do the opposite, too.
Yeah, so I truly did not date anyone. I would say I came from, like, a very sheltered childhood as well, like, with my parents. And so, like, wasn't allowed to wear makeup until, like, a certain age, like 16. Like, obviously...
Princess. She's so cute.
Wasn't allowed to date, like, until I was, like, probably around 16 anyways. Not that I was, but, like, wasn't allowed to. Yeah. So, like, certain things like that. And also, like, love my mother, but she is not the most, like, girly woman. So, like, I never grew up, like, learning how to do hair or, like, makeup or any of that kind of thing. And so I would say that, like, up until my college years, I was going through it. Like, I truly, I had no sense of style, like, didn't know how to style myself, like, hair-wise, makeup, nothing. So I wasn't exactly, like, putting my best to, like, you know, best carry forward. So I had a lot of crushes, like, a lot of people that I was obsessed with, that I, like, pictured my future with, who I, like, literally never talked to. But I'm also, like, very much a hopeless romantic, and so, like, I would watch all these, like, romantic movies.
Our girl's a rom-com girl.
Yeah, for sure. Pride and Prejudice is my favorite. So,
I love that.
That says everything you need to know about me. And so I always, like, had these, like, vivid, like, oh my God, like, I'm gonna meet someone and we're gonna have this, like, epic romance.
Yeah, literally.
And then, like, that never happened. And so I like went through all my high school years single, college literally single. Like I didn't even have my first kiss until I was a sophomore in college.
Okay,
like,
period.
Yeah, I was like 18, maybe 19 at that point. Yeah. So
how was that?
It unfortunately was not consensual, so I got a lot of
fuck you.
I got a lot of like trauma in my my college years because, as I said, I was very like introverted, so I really like didn't want to like protest or say no a lot of times. So like I did a lot of shit that, looking back, like I would never have actually done, but I'm also kind of glad that it happened the way it did. Like, I was just talking to this guy, and, like, he just, like, went for it.
Just
and
out of nowhere?
me. And, of course, because I am a 18, 19-year-old girl who's never been kissed, I was just, like, I was also obviously drunk. And so I didn't really know what to do, so I just kind of, like, let it happen, and then I started crying.
Oh my god.
But at the
well,
same
yeah,
time,
because you weren't expecting that either.
I wasn't expecting it, and like I was kind of like, that was my first kiss, like that's crazy.
Oh.
But then afterwards, I was kind of glad that like, it was just kind of like over with.
Yeah.
And I was like, that really was no big deal. Like, and then I kissed
now you can kiss
literally everyone.
You're like, I got one done.
Yeah.
Line them up.
Yeah. Girls, boys, bring them on. I went to Florida State.
Go Knowles. It's awesome though. I feel like a lot of people have their first kiss so early on, so it's like a good perspective to have.
Yeah, I was old for sure.
You said I was old.
Yeah, and then like the rest of my college time, like I said, like didn't date anyone officially, but I just had a lot of flings.
Yeah.
So still like was totally obsessed with people.
I love having a good crush though.
Right.
It makes everything exciting.
Like looking back, there was like this one guy in particular that it's like embarrassing like how obsessed I was, and he knew it too.
Carrie.
And I know I did a lot of really messed up stuff in pursuit of that man, but also like he treated me like absolute garbage, and I was
he your Stephen DeMarco?
More please. Yes.
Stop.
Yeah.
Really? Oh my god.
That's the reason I can't watch that show, because like, that is literally him to a T.
That's honestly psychotic though, because he is psychotic.
Yeah.
I'm so lucky and blessed I have not had a Stephen DeMarco yet.
This guy, one time, his MO was he was a bartender, and he would always text me, or like it was always Snapchat. That's how you know it was bad.
No, literally.
And it would literally be like 3 a.m. when he got off work, and he would just say like, come over, and that's it. And I would literally wake up. I would sleep with my phone next to my ear.
Stop.
I would wake up and I would drive my happy ass over to his place.
Hey.
We'd fuck, and then that was that. And literally would not talk to me in public, like whatever.
Men are terrible.
But I was like, this is love. Like this is, we're meant to be.
Okay, why is that though? Because I feel like I've never been in a relationship though, so mostly just flings, and I don't consider any of them relationships, honestly. But I feel like we all have that one person where it's like you would do some dumb shit to just like get 20 minutes of their attention.
Well, this kind of goes back to what I was saying before. I did not know who I was as a person at that point. I was young, but also I had gone my entire life up until that point. Like no one had really like overtly wanted me. Yeah. And so someone is telling me what I want to hear. Obviously it's not the truth, but like he's saying like, oh, like this is special, you know, whatever. And I'm like, you're right.
Duh, it is.
Of course it's special.
I can feel the sparks flying.
Yeah. So like he played me perfectly, but this one time he texted or he snapped me to come over, and I came over, and he literally left. He made an excuse. He said, oh, like one of my friends needs help with something, whatever. So he left me. Like now that I'm able to look back on it, he definitely went and like had sex with another girl. Like
oh hell no!
But he left me there. I think he was expecting me to just leave, but I was like, I'm not. I literally drove all the way over here. Like I'm just gonna sleep in your bed. And his roommate came in and tried to hook up with me. And then I told the man that the next day, because thank God I was like no. Like I told the man no. And I told the guy the next day, like, this is what your roommate did, and he did not care at all. And so I'm like,
sounds like a Stephen DeMarco.
Maybe this isn't love.
No. What is love? No, most of the time it's not, especially in college. I feel like that was the same because like I had never had a relationship really. Not really. I was always the friend. I was always the like, you're cool, but like you're not cool enough to date. Like that was always me.
Yeah.
And so when I got to college and like didn't know any of these people, like I was able to like romantically pursue people. Didn't always do it in the best way or the right way or even sober most of the time. But I feel like that's valid though because like that was really my first time of people like showing interest in me and like, I'm like, oh damn, okay. So that I would do some like crazy shit for people that really didn't give a fuck about me.
Yeah, it's character building, honestly.
No, it really does build character.
Also trauma.
Yeah, my walls are still up from 2015. No, I'm kidding. College was fun though. I had so much fun in college. Like if I could do it again, girl, I'd do it 5 times over. I had a blast. Not 5 times, but I did have a blast. I feel like it was a little crazy. And I feel like dating was low-key really non-existent though because I was a student athlete, so like I just
didn't have time.
I really didn't have time to like I don't know. And then I started talking and dating to girls and that was too much and I was like this is getting out of hand. So then I just put dating on the shelf forever.
Yeah.
And just filled my life with love with friends and family.
I feel sad thinking about my college years just because that was like the time in my life when my depression like really kicked in.
Really?
And so I just look back on like baby Carrie and I'm like, oh yeah, you're gonna be okay.
God, and like mixed with drinking and shit. That's
drinking and a lot of drugs.
Well, yeah, it's FSU.
It's FSU. It's expected.
Yeah.
And
it's
then
okay. It's
just
America.
like not amazing friends to surround myself with. So
yeah, I feel like there are only select few of friends that make it out of college. Like close.
Yeah, I've got one.
Hey, it's like that, you know?
Yeah.
It's like that. I got lucky and have a couple, but a lot of the motherfuckers I do not talk to. But we change, we grow. And in college I was just so reckless. Like sometimes I look back on that version of me and I'm like, sometimes I wish I had that like fuck it mentality because I would literally do whatever. Like I wouldn't think twice about it. I would just say yes and then figure it out later.
Yeah.
And I loved that about me back then, but now I'm like, okay, we have bills now.
Right. So, we have common sense now.
Oh, yeah.
My adult,
frontal lobe has developed a little more.
Self-preservation. There was this one time, my friend and I, we met these guys at the bar. We're all completely wasted, and they asked if we wanted to go mudding in their truck.
Oh, hell yeah.
So we're like, literally met them for the first time an hour before. And
hell
like,
yeah.
Hell yeah. And so...
You know what?
We just get in this guy's truck and go like off-roading basically, and we literally like they gave us shirts to wear, and I'm like, nowadays old Carrie is like, they could have murdered you that night.
Yeah, that's what.
But it was so fun. It was really, really fun.
Hey, but you can always have your ID on you so they can't identify the body. Just saying, always have your ID on you. That's what my mom used to tell us growing up. Like when we first got our IDs, we were so excited, and she'd be like, "Okay, remember to always have it on you because they need to identify the body if something happens." And we'd be like,
"You don't think your murderer is gonna be like, oh, let me grab that wallet?"
No, a lot of criminals are stupid. Yeah. A lot of criminals are dumb.
I always, from watching a lot of like crime TV shows, you gotta like scratch them because then you leave their DNA under your fingertips. Yeah. And then they can find them that way.
That's true. And you can pull your hair out and leave it in the trunk or wherever you are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can tell we watched a lot of...
Yeah.
My household growing up, it was a lot of like Forensic Files, Criminal Minds, CSI,
NCIS.
Yes. A lot of what's the main one? Law and Order, SVU. Oh. That theme song, every morning, my sister on the couch watching that shit. That shit is still on. Like, come on.
Olivia Benson is a captain now, so...
Okay, period, bitch.
She's in charge.
She's in charge. Honestly, she should have been the whole fucking time because she was killing that shit. She was. We keep going off topic. Damn it. We went from dating to SVU. I'm crying. Okay. Going back to the lonely era of it all. So, do you think relationships have room for people who are in their lonely era? So I know for like some people, when they do get in relationships, they're obviously still there's their own people still.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can still feel lonely in a relationship at times. Do you think that relationships can survive those moments? Like what do you think you would accept from a partner if he was to be like in his lonely era, like really going through it, I guess? Because I feel like there are some things I just would not accept from my partner, but then I'd be like, okay, I get it, because like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
I mean, I do think that relationships can survive, like, if someone's going through a lonely era. But for me, a big thing is, and this is something that, like, Joe and I talked a lot about when we were getting back together. For me, I really prioritize my friendships.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, for us, for Joe and I, like, we are together, like, almost 24/7. Like, work together, live together, like, spend our evenings for the most part together.
Yeah.
So, like, we're, like, on top of each other all the time. So, like, my big thing was I need to be able to get out of this house and, like, spend time with my friends. And, like, that was also, like, a big thing that kind of, like, towards the end of last year and this year, I'm, like, prioritizing my female friendships and, like, really cultivating those. So I think, like, as long as, like, if you're in a relationship and you are spending time with your friends, like, you're getting out of, you know, your environment, like, doing things with other people, like, I feel like that is, like, I mean, you may not be putting a lot of effort into, like, hobbies or whatever. The ways that she's
staring at you.
Right
Her my princess's side eye is crazy.
Yeah, I felt judged.
She's a judger.
But I guess that's kind of what I would say. Like, if my partner was, like, very obviously, like, retreating into himself, like, not making an effort, like, in his appearance, like, not talking to people outside of, like, work, like, then I think I would step in and just be like, what's going on here? Like, do we need to, like, evaluate what's going on? Like, do you need help? Like, should we talk about this? So I feel like that's where, like, a partner should step in. Like, if you can see that your partner is struggling and they're, like, not doing the things that they normally do.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what I would say. Like, if, you know, if they're very clearly, like, in their lonely era, then I would say, like, you can help them maybe ease out of it a little bit. Yeah.
I feel like that's what a good partner would do.
Yeah.
I feel like that is true. And I feel like you've been on both sides of that coin. Because you and Joe did break up for a little bit. And you guys did live together, which I think is really hard to do. Like, really hard to do. Like, living... I feel like living, working with a partner, playing with your partner, all of that is hard. But when you add the... What's the word I'm looking for? Like, when you add into the equation of one or both parties not feeling themselves... I feel like that's when it does get difficult, and I feel like a lot of people do, especially in our day and age, just, like, give up on the relationship so fast. And it's like, I feel like it would be, I don't know, I feel like you would be a bad partner if you didn't help your partner if they were in a bad time, or even just try to, like, talk to them. Because I feel like some relationships don't last because people aren't talking to their partner. They're like, okay, I see they're struggling, I'm just going to, like, worry about myself. And, like, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, that was honestly, like, the main reason for our breaking up. We were both, like, separately going through it, like, very depressed. And so, like, you really can't help out another person when you're already kind of, like, in that, like, mental hole. Because every day I would wake up and I'm like, all right, how am I going to get through today? And, like, I can't even begin to worry about how he's going to get through the day.
Yeah.
And it was kind of the same, like, vice versa for him as well. Like, looking back on that time, it's, like, it's sad to think about just because, like, our relationship was circling the drain. But I don't think, like, either of us really had the tools to, like, help each other.
But sometimes you have to...
A little space.
Like, yeah, a little space. Because, like you said, you're living together, you're working together, you're doing all of those things. Like,
it's a lot.
Yeah, like, you need that space and that time to breathe. Yeah. And, like you said, to figure out what you need for yourself, so then you can give, like, you can fill your cup up, so then you can fill your partner's up.
Exactly. Because there's going to be times when you're feeling okay and your partner's obviously struggling, so you're going to give a little bit more to the relationship in those times to kind of compensate for that. And then he'll do the same for you. So that's what it should be, and that's how I feel our relationship is now.
That's good, yeah.
For sure, yeah. But we definitely need that time apart. I personally needed that time as kind of like an eye-opening, like a wake-up call almost.
Yeah.
Just because, one, I was obviously, like I said, mentally struggling, but two, like I said, hopeless romantic, in love with love, like love romance.
Yeah.
And part of me, as much as I hate to say it, was kind of like, is this it? Like, is this gonna be my, like, you know, romance for the rest of my life? Like, this person that I'm gonna be with? And, like, growing up, I think that you kind of, like, idealize, like, that person that you're gonna fall in love with. You're like, oh my God, they're gonna be so attractive, and they're gonna be, like, you know, perfect for me. And all these other
kind of
things.
like what you see, like, growing up, like, in the movies and everything.
Like, my books, like, they did not help.
The smut does not help, ladies.
No.
You may think it does, but it does not.
No, not when you're already, like, struggling. But I think that time apart for me was, like, so important. One, I started working out again, like, started eating healthier, like, really,
like, taking care of yourself.
Yes, was able to, like, look at myself in the mirror and be like, okay, like, I'm proud of this person that I'm putting out, and, like, I'm happy. And then I was able to be like, okay, like, now maybe I'll be able to, you know, start talking to new people or whatever. And then it got to a point where I was like, I cannot stop thinking about this person that I left behind, like, our relationship, like,
what you guys built.
Yeah, not perfect by any means. However, when I look at my future, he's the only person I can see myself being with all the time. Like, romance is something that, like, we're gonna have to work on, but I think that's the same with, like, any long-term relationship. Like, you have to continue to fall in love with your
you have
partner.
to date the whole time.
Yes.
Because that's really what dating is like keeping the romance alive and, you know, dating each other and treating each other as you would on the first date, as you would on the 31st date.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So for me, it was, like, holding on to that feeling that, like, I'm coming home to, like, my best friend. Like, this is the person that knows me better than anyone. Like, he understands me. He loves me. And so it might not always be amazing. It might not always be easy. But I am committed to a life with this person because I can't imagine doing this with anyone else.
I love that. We're gonna cry. That is so cute. Y'all are fucking cute. And I'm glad that y'all took that time apart because you can tell that it helped y'all's relationship. It helped both of you guys as individuals. Yeah. And it's only going to make y'all's future relationship better. Because like you said, there's always going to be little bumps in the road. There's always going to be little things. You're always going to have to figure out, you know, how to continue to date each other. But you guys will always look back on that time and be like, okay, we did it before, we can do it again. And I think that's important. And I think you taking that time to yourself and really, like you said, like cultivating those women friendships and prioritizing other friendships outside of that. Because at the end of the day, your partner is your best friend. And you do need to, you know, nurture that relationship as well. But there are, especially as women, like, our friendships, in my opinion, are so important. Like, having girlfriends is incredible. Yeah. And, like, I feel like it really does make us who we are as women. Like, we pull little things from each one of our girlfriends, whether if it's, like, a little bit of their personality or their style or what they read or what they listen to. And I feel like it really does make us who we are. And I think that part is so important because a lot of women get lost in the relationship. Like, they lose themselves in the relationship, and it's like, it makes me so sad. And that's another reason why I'm so hesitant to date, is because, like, I'm not trying to lose myself in a man. Yeah. Like, I can't do it.
I think that is another example, though, of, like, people who don't truly know themselves, because they do kind of morph into whatever their partner likes. Yeah. So, like, they'll dress differently or, like, they'll act differently. Yeah. And I think it's really clear in that sense that, like, they just don't have a clear sense of who they are or what makes them happy, because they're so easy to just, like, morph into whatever their partner needs or wants.
That's a lot of people. Y'all be morphing into people. Be yourself, girl. You don't even like everybody. Be yourself. trying to be like everybody else.
You know who I think of when I think of that is Kourtney Kardashian.
What?
She like dresses different with
every
person.
boyfriend.
Yeah.
Literally like Bella Hadid. Oh my god. Every time she has a new boyfriend, she changes her whole lifestyle into her boyfriend. I'm like, girl, it's not that serious. Like, I like seeing two different partners that are different. Like Charles and his wife, I love that.
Yeah.
Like, they're so opposite, and I think that's so cool is because, like, you learn so much from someone who is different than you.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you can if they are the same. Like, you still learn things, but, like, you definitely pick up a lot more things and learn about other things when it's someone who likes different things than you, who dresses different than you, who...
Yep.
But... we're humans and birds of a feather flock together. So it's like when you have a dog for 10 years, they start looking like you. Like you start morphing into your partner. Like long before you know it, you're going to start looking like Joe.
Oh,
you might have a beard.
Listen, I shave it.
I shave it. I'm crying. Okay. Do you also believe that, because we've done a couple Galentines together. Do you think that Galentines is just as important as Valentine's Day? Because I feel like it is.
I 100%.
I think it's like a national holiday, right? Now? Did they put it on the calendars? Let's see.
I don't know. It might be.
I don't know the date, though.
I think it's traditionally either the day before or the day after. So either the 13th or the 15th.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not on the Apple calendar, so it might not be real.
It might not be.
Hold on.
It might be on, like, printed calendars.
Yeah. Let's see. Galentine's Day... This is the TV show? Oh, it's an observance. So it's not a holiday, but it's an observance.
Okay.
They're just looking out for it. It's on the 13th.
Use your own discretion what day you want to celebrate whenever your girlfriends are free.
That's true.
Yes, I do. Because, okay, for me, growing up, Valentine's Day... So my parents actually got married on Valentine's Day.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, they eloped. So... obviously growing up, like, I was around their, like, anniversary celebrations, and, like, my dad would always get my mom, like, a bouquet of flowers, like, a gift, and then he'd always get a bouquet of flowers for me and my sister. So growing up, like, I had that, like, positive experience with Valentine's Day, but then I went, like I said, my whole life pretty much with no partner, so, like, I never celebrated it with anyone. And so I think I got into a place where I was like, this holiday is stupid. It's totally made up. Like, it just didn't make sense to me. Like, a day where your partner is supposed to, like, buy you flowers. And I'm like, what about the other days of the year?
Literally. I always thought that. I'm like, bitch, why are you not buying me flowers every other day?
It just seems, like, really performative. However, now that I'm in a relationship, I do enjoy Valentine's Day with my partner. Like, we always plan something. Like, we'll do something together, make dinner, whatever. But I'm still not like, oh my God, Valentine's Day. Like, it's not like one of those holidays for me. So I do really like the girly aspect of it. Like, I love being with my girls for Galentines. Like, I love wearing pink. I love wearing decorating, pink. Like, doing cute stuff like this. So, honestly, like...
She even made it. She's starting at Galentine's, and she even made an invitation. Very cute.
Yeah. Canva.
Honestly, shout out to Canva.
Yeah.
I love Canva.
Always helping with the invitations to the party. Yeah, but honestly, like, the entire month of February now, I'm just, like, I feel like it's an excuse to wear pink, just to, like, be extra girly. Like, that is what I live for. So... and
the candy.
Yeah, like, while I appreciate now, I obviously have a partner to celebrate Valentine's Day with, it's not... like, my boyfriend specifically, like, he... like, shows me that he loves me all the time. So,
yeah,
like,
not just on February 14th.
No, so...
true.
That's why I wouldn't put Valentine's Day over Galentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a lot of amazing girlfriends, and we have a great time, so...
yeah, we always do have a really good time.
Yeah.
We always do have a really good time. A lot of laughs. We are, like, a lot of us are funny in our own ways, and it's really good. Yeah. Speaking of what we love, that's honestly perfect. We can get right into what we've been loving. So, if you're new here, we do what we've been loving every single week. We do music, entertainment, products. That's what we're going over. Mm-hmm. So, first things first on the list always is music. What have you been loving recently? Besides the Wicked fucking soundtrack.
I'm giving Wicked a break. So I am the type of person I kind of like hyperfixate on things.
Yes.
So we were at Nicole's birthday dinner like a couple weeks ago, and someone, I don't remember who it was, brought up Ludacris, and I have been listening to Ludacris
really
non-stop.
Hell yeah!
Ever since then, and I forgot like how many friggin' bangers.
I haven't listened to him in a long time.
This is your sign.
Okay, I'm writing it down because I need to do that though.
Literally,
for real.
so many good songs. So I think I'm gonna say Ludacris for my answer.
Okay, period.
Shout out Luda. But also,
no, seriously.
Joe and I are watching the Fast and Furious movies, and he's
in there.
In a bunch of them. Yeah, so it's fun that he can act and he can.
Those are really good movies.
Yeah, they're really good. We just got to the one where Paul Walker's character dies, and so I haven't been able to finish the spoiler alert. I'm sorry.
My God.
But I can't process that yet, so I've had to put a pause on watching the movie.
My God. Yeah, that's like the thing, even like in Grey's. Have you seen Grey's, all of Grey's Anatomy?
Not all of it, but like a good amount.
Okay. Well, when one of the main character dies, I stopped watching it.
Which one?
Derek. I just couldn't do it.
There's so many.
I
stopped watching after the plane crash when Lexi and Mark died because they were my favorite.
Okay. Honestly, though, Lexi and Mark, 10 out of 10. They honestly should have kept them alive. Like,
I do like that they killed them both off, though, because if one had survived without the other,
there's no way. I don't want... No. What?
They had to die.
They had to.
Yeah.
Because there's no fucking way Mark was about to live without Lexi. There's also, no way.
The fact that she dies, like, because of the plane crash, and then he dies because of, like, a heart condition.
Yeah.
After, and I'm like... He died of a broken heart.
Oh my God. And he was like, wasn't it like he was, I don't remember what they called it, but like he was feeling really good.
Yeah.
And like I can't handle that fucking show. Yeah, it was like the
surge or something like that. And they were like, oh, like, we gotta be careful. Like, he could still, and then they're like all excited that he died. And
then bitch, time of death. Dead.
But then he was with Lexi.
Oh, he was. That's a really good fucking show, dude. I can't believe. That's one show that really got me through college was Grey's Anatomy. Grey's Anatomy and Glee. Got me through.
You like Glee?
Yes, girl. What the fuck?
I love Glee.
No, I like when my freshman year of college, like so I just got so lucky with my room arrangements. Like a roommate always left, or a girl always got kicked off the team, or something. So I always ended up getting my own room. And my freshman year, I didn't have my own room like the first semester. And then the girl I was rooming with moved to another room with someone else. So the second semester, I got my own room, and I finally got my own TV in there. And the first thing I did was watch Glee. That's amazing. Because my roommate was like, I don't want to watch that. Like, we're not watching that. Like, and I always wanted to watch it. So as soon as that bitch moved out, I sat in my room like this.
Binged it.
No, literally. It was like my saving grace.
I lived in Germany when the first season of Glee came out. We got movies and TV shows like months after they came out. Like we didn't really have access to them like immediately. And so this is when I had an iPod video, like one of those chunky boys.
Yes.
And so I literally went and I bought the entire first season of Glee and like downloaded it onto my iPod and watched it like that. And
iconic.
I was obsessed.
No.
And then literally my freshman year of college, I literally kicked my roommates out of the room and I watched the episode where Finn dies.
Oh yeah.
And that was
they did like the tribute or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I sat there on my bed sobbing my eyes out.
No, literally. And his number was my number, and I was just like, okay.
Like, looking back, that show was crazy, wild. But I really enjoyed it.
No, I really enjoyed it.
And, like, I will say, it introduced me to a lot of, like, really good music.
Really good music.
Know. And so really people were like, music. Oh, how did you know this song? And I'm like, I heard it on Glee.
No, and that's how I figured out what Wicked was for the first time, is because Kristen Chenoweth is on that, and Adina is, whatchamacallit's mom, Rachel's mom. Rachel. And... Because, like, when I watch a show or a movie and I like it, I look up the cast immediately. Yeah. And so, like, I was looking through the cast and I was like, oh, I've seen this lady on a bunch of stuff. What else is she in? And then I figured out they were on Wicked. And then I figured out what Wicked was. And I was like, okay, I fucking love this shit. And then, yeah, now we're here and I can't stop listening to the soundtracks.
I was in Montana for elementary school and I was friends with these two sisters. They were two really, really, really cute little blonde girls. obsessed with Wicked.
Stop.
Obsessed. And they had really amazing singing voices. And so they decided that we were going to stage our own Wicked production. And so they cast all of us. I was Madame Morrible.
Okay, period, bitch.
Because I couldn't sing that well. And they're like, she only has like 1 or 2 songs. Like, you're good. And so I was like, yeah, okay. And then...
Death in his chest.
Yeah. And so we would like literally just like sit around and just sing the songs and like practice. Like, obviously we never did.
Stop.
We only had like 5 people. Like, we couldn't do a whole production. But that was my first introduction to Wicked.
That's
was
sick.
like singing when I was like, I don't know, 12 years old. So fun.
Wicked is so good.
Yeah.
So good. That's been on What I've Been Loving Music for like the first 3 episodes. I'm sorry. So we're not going to do that.
Guess what? It's going to be every episode until the second one comes out.
No. We have 10 months.
I can't wait for part 2 of the soundtrack because that's where one of my favorite songs is on part 2. Can't wait.
You said the one with Fira, right?
Yeah.
And
Fira and Elphaba.
what's the fucking name of that song? I can't remember. Is it
As Long As You're Mine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the one. My best friend and I would cruise around in high school because we didn't really do much. We just like once she got her license, we would just like drive around.
Oh my god, that was the best.
To music.
When people would get their license.
Yeah. And so we would literally like put the windows down and blast that song and just like scream it all over Centerville, Ohio. So shout out Ohio.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what else have you been loving? So you said Ludacris, Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
What book are you reading right now?
So I'm reading a couple. I'm reading. Have you heard of Fourth Wing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so Fourth Wing is like a fantasy.
Didn't a new book just come out, like the series?
The 3rd book, yeah.
Ah.
So I am like a huge ACOTAR like fantasy, but like not too fantasy.
Yeah.
Like if it's too like magic-y, I lose interest. So
I feel that.
I knew like Fourth Wing had come out like a couple years ago, and I was just like, it's like very like dragony and like fantasy, and so I was like, I don't know, I don't think I like it. And so I just heard so many people talk about it, and so when the 3rd book came out like last week or the week before, I was like, you know what, like I'll give it a try and see if I like it. I literally read the first book in a day. And then,
in a day?
In a day. It's really long.
Holy shit.
It was so good. It was really, really good. And then I'm trying to be better because last year I read a crazy amount of books, but I was like I said, unhealthy, like reading like 3 books a day, and like I can't. That's not sustainable for my personal life. That's what we call it, depression.
No, literally, you guys, she would not eat lunch with us at work. She would be reading.
No, I started like a book talk account.
Oh yeah, you
or like
did.
a Bookstagram.
Yeah.
And that was really fun, but I got to a point where I was like reading like 20, 25 books a week, and I was just like it was
okay. That's what my cousin said. The Kindle makes it so easy to read.
It definitely does. It goes a lot faster.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. So anyway, so I read the first Fourth Wing, and then the second one is I can never remember the name of the second book. It's like Onyx something, or no, that's the 3rd one. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know.
The second one was it wasn't as good as the first one, so it took me a little bit longer to read. But I read it in like 2 or 3 days. But now I'm on book 3, so that's like what I'm reading right now. And then I have a couple like smuts that I'm like.
Just flipping through.
Yeah, because the Fourth Wing, there's definitely like some spice, but it's not really smutty. Sometimes.
Is it more about the storyline and the girl like trying to?
Yeah. It's like
is that the one where she's an assassin, or is that ACOTAR?
That's Throne of Glass.
What?
That's another. It's the same author as ACOTAR, but a different series.
Oh.
Yeah, she's an assassin. Her name's I won't tell you her name, but
why can't I know her name?
That's a spoiler. They'll know if they've read the books.
I don't know.
But yes, so right now I'm reading. I think Onyx Storm is the 3rd one, and I took Monday off, so I'm gonna literally sit and read on my couch for 12 hours.
As you fucking should, honestly. Honestly, guys, if you have a job, take a day off and do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah. Because
then people do not give a fuck about you. I'm crying. Okay, so products. What products have you been loving recently?
So I started mouth taping.
Have you really?
Yeah.
What?
I got it on TikTok Shop. Yeah, before I stopped using TikTok Shop. Yeah, so I started the beginning of January. So I wanted to do it for a month just to see. Because it's supposed to, like, 1, help you with sleep, and then 2, help with your, like, jawline, allegedly. And that's something.
Girl, yeah, I was looking. Sorry to pause. I was looking the other day, and I might need a chin BBL. Because I was vlogging the other day, and I was editing, and I was like, oh, I've never looked at my chin and was like, we gotta take care of that.
No, that literally has been like one of like the things that I've been most self-conscious about, which is so dumb because like in my family we just have like weak chins. Like
weak chins.
Like we all have double chins, and like it doesn't really matter if you weigh more or less. Like it's just gonna always be there.
Yeah.
So yeah, unless I got like a chin implant or whatever.
Yeah, girl, I'm gonna need a.
Yeah,
because I was scared the other day looking at that shit.
But literally, if anything promises that it'll help my jawline, I'm like, sign me up. So I started doing it. It is pretty funny because I offered Joe to do it with me.
To try it?
And he was like, no, I'm going to let you do that, and like, we'll see how
does
it goes.
Does it feel like you can breathe at night, though?
Yeah, that was what I was afraid of. I thought I was going to be like, like claustrophobic. And I would say like the first night, maybe the first 2 nights I did it, it was like a little bit weird because you can't talk, obviously. Yeah. And so I had to like text anything that I wanted to say. After I put it on, I had to be like, oh, okay. But I actually, it might be like a placebo effect. I have no idea if it's actually working. I had Vic take a picture of me from the side.
Really?
So then I can like compare it to see if there's any difference. I will say though, like before I started using it, I was like more prone to like tossing and turning at night, and I sleep like a rock.
Really?
Yeah. I also take melatonin though, so who's to say? There's a lot of factors here that could be in play, but I don't know. It's not that expensive, and
well, because isn't mouth breathing really bad for you?
Yeah, supposedly. They said it's like it helps you like retrain your body so that you don't. I mean, obviously you're not gonna be breathing out of your mouth because you can't. Yeah. But it's supposed to help.
All right, I really want to get into these stories because.
Okay, I'm excited to hear. Wait, are these stories that people submitted or that you
no,
found?
just stuff that I found.
Okay, gotcha.
So this, well, one of them, 2 of them is a story, and then one of them is just like a little blurb, because I found a Reddit thing and it was like, tell me a scary, not a scary, but like a terrible Valentine's Day story, and someone just typed, I got sidelined during a V-Day threesome. My boyfriend begged me to let one of my friends join in on Valentine's Day for a threesome. I said yes because I loved him so much. Then next
oh no.
The next day after he dropped me off at home, he called me and broke up with me.
He just wanted to have sex with your friend.
No, he literally just wanted to have sex with your friend, and I was like, what man is like, babe, I know what I want for Valentine's Day. A threesome with your bestie.
Yeah, another woman's vagina.
And I was looking because, like, people were asking in the comments, like, because on Reddit they can reply.
Yeah.
And people were like, well, what happened? Like, did they end up together? And she just never.
Are you still friends with that girl?
Girl, she probably is. Dumb as hell. Dumb as hell. That's why I feel like threesomes, I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like, one, the woman would have to be like, I'm choosing. I don't know. I feel like it could get crazy real fast. A threesome, when you're not in a relationship, I feel like it's fine. Yeah. But, like, if you're in a relationship, I feel like...
it's messy.
It's going to get messy. Yeah. Unless you guys are swingers. I don't know.
Yeah, no, unless you have, like, some serious, like, clear boundaries set in place. But, like, for me, personally, I feel like I would get jealous.
Right?
Like, of the other person. Or, like, territorial, maybe, almost. And then also, I don't know. I just, like, it would have to be someone that neither of us knew.
Yeah, it cannot be a friend. Bitch, it can't. You talking about my friend? No, go fuck her then. Because why you want to fuck my friend? Mm-hmm. Just go fuck her. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, no, I don't see it working out. And also, like, if you're in a male-female relationship, like, is a threesome adding another man? Is it adding another woman?
Who makes that decision?
Yeah.
Because honestly though, but if my man was like, hey, I want a threesome and I want it to be another man, I'll just be like, okay, bet. I'd be like, okay, bet. So we both buy. I love that.
Yeah, there's no way unless you're
so you're coming out.
Yeah, unless he has some interest there, like he's gonna want it to be a girl,
right?
And then unless you are also into girls, then I feel like it's just like, okay, so you want me to watch you fuck another girl? Like,
that's wild. Some people are into that.
Yeah,
some people are voyeurs, so, like, for sure.
If that's your thing, go off.
I have always wanted to go to a swinger party though. Like I I want to get in there. I want to see what's going on. I want to look around. I want to peek. I want to say who's who. I want to see what the vibe is because I have always been interested, I don't know why, in swinger parties because one, who came up with this concept? Why are upside down pineapples involved? Is there like an STD check? Are there wristbands? Do you get people's phone numbers? Like, I need to know what goes on in these rooms. So if y'all are swingers, let me know. I don't have anybody to go with, but I would love to go see what y'all are doing in there. Yeah. Because that would be amazing. But tone it down to the threesomes if you are a jealous person, because that's not going to work, babe. And your man might leave you. Next one. This one, I laughed at, because it's also someone who got broken up with. Oh, no. But this girl said this guy she was dating for a couple months. Valentine's Day was coming up. He took her out to dinner. In parentheses, she put Chili's, in case you were wondering. Okay. Which I have no problem with.
Yeah, I was about to say, we love Chili's in this house.
If a man ever came to me and was like, hey, baby, we're going on a date, and he drops me off at Chili's,
he's getting it.
No, he ain't the only one getting a triple dipper that night. Let me tell you something. Because that would make me wet. I'd be like, bet. We're 2 for 1? Period.
Oh, fuck. On the table. No, at Chili's.
At Chili's. In the queso. Because I love their queso. And their salsa. Like, oh my God. But anyways, took her out to Chili's. I guess it wasn't a good date because she goes, it was only 30 minutes into the date. He took me home and then called me after and broke up with me. Like, what happened at Chili's, first of all?
Yeah, was she judging because he brought her to Chili's?
That's what I'm saying. Ungrateful. Maybe he thought she was ungrateful.
For Valentine's Day?
Yes. They'd only been dating for a couple months. And then Valentine's Day comes up. He takes her to Chili's. They were only there for 30 minutes. He left, called her, and then broke up with her.
Sounds like it's a you thing, honestly.
It sounds like you should have been more grateful for them motherfucking chips and dip, babe.
Obviously, she wasn't...
She wasn't doing something right. No. She wasn't doing a threesome either, because
no.
I just feel bad. Damn, them people both got broken up with on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that sucks. That's unfortunate.
That would be like, okay, I'm never doing this shit again. Like, I'm never doing this again. Feel like
that's, you know, that relationship was not right because they're using Valentine's Day as an excuse to dump you.
Yeah, that's terrible. I didn't think of it like that.
Yeah. That's not your man. Don't worry. You'll find your man.
Please. Hopefully he still takes shit at Chili's.
Yeah.
I really, like, if a man takes me to Chili's, I bet.
I feel like I'm also just, like, the least, like, high-maintenance person ever.
Sorry, guys. We had battery malfunction. This is hilarious to me.
You look like an alien.
No, literally. I keep forgetting that we have this on. Okay, guys. One more little story, and then we can wrap it up. But no, this girl said, okay, so me and Victoria were actually talking about this the other day because my dad used to do this a lot to my mom. Hence why they're fucking divorced. No. But this girl said that obviously dating this guy for a little bit, and he was talking about how he was surprising her with a gift for Valentine's Day. She said he surprised me with a motorcycle lift on his motorcycle for Valentine's Day. He was overjoyed.
What's a motorcycle lift?
Like, I guess like a little lift kit to bring it off the ground a little bit. Like how trucks get a lift.
Ugh.
But my dad would do that for my mom, like on Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, her birthday. Like, he would buy something for him, but like present it as like, this is for us.
I hate that.
Like, one time did it with a truck. My mom's like, I don't want a fucking truck. I have 3 children. I need like a fucking SUV. I don't need a truck.
Yeah.
I don't need a Silverado. It was literally a Silverado. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, why? And Victoria was saying how her dad would do that too, like buy cars and shit, and be like, "Oh, this is for y'all," but it was like
how
really for him.
How are people buying cars and not talking to their spouse about that beforehand? That's crazy,
right? I would be like, so you just left home today, this morning, and now I'm back, and there's a car in my driveway that I had no say in buying or purchasing, but we share the same bank account?
Hell no.
Hell no.
No. That also sucks just because I feel like that's like something when you and your partner know each other so well and they're able to get you a gift that's like perfectly tailored to what you like. I
know.
Like that's being truly known.
I know. And that is one of my love languages is gift giving. Like, I love giving gifts and I love getting gifts because one, I love picking out a gift for someone and it's so them and they open it and they're like obsessed.
Yeah.
But then I also love like the vice versa of that. Mm-hmm. So like I would definitely break up with him. And I can't believe that girl was like, he was so overjoyed. It was so cute. Like, no, it's not cute, girl.
Yeah. Like, I would say, I know some people really struggle with giving gifts. So, maybe that's something they could work on. Like, okay, here's a list of things that you can get for me. Like, so you really don't have to, like, put too much thought into it. This is something that I would really like.
Or just, like, pay attention in conversations.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. I feel like most people don't do that. I used to be really bad at that, like, paying attention in conversations and, like, not really getting the person in front of me. Just, like, literally one ear and out the other. Because, like, my brain would be on so many other things. Yeah. So I feel like maybe I got that from my dad. Because he obviously was not listening to my mother. Because she didn't need a truck. She needed a minivan.
Did she keep the truck?
Yeah. But he kept it.
Oh, he drove it?
No, like, she drove it for, like, the first couple months and then was like, okay, Thomas, like, I need an actual SUV. So then, you know, he weaseled his way in there. He got a truck. She got her little car. You know what I mean?
Do you think that was his plan all along?
For sure. Because he always had, like, a work van. He never had, like, the truck he always wanted.
It's like,
you know
I'm playing
what I mean?
the long game here.
No, dead ass. And then, like, one Mother's Day, like, souped it up. Got, like, rims and, like, this little bump on the hood or something. It was like, Happy Mother's Day. And she's like, what? Like,
like, I just want to go to the spa.
Like, no, like, literally, like, just take me to dinner. I don't need a fucking hump on the hood of my truck. Oh, that isn't mine, really. Like,
that I don't want.
No, I would seriously break up.
Yeah.
So, good for you, Mom. Relationships are just triggering for me. Triggering for me. Honestly, they are. But I feel like they're... I don't know. I used to look at relationships as just romantic relationships. But now I see them... Like, a romantic relationship is, like, so far away from me. Like, so far away from my brain that, like, when I do think about a relationship and love... I immediately think about it, like, with my girlfriends or, like, my parents or my family or something like that. Like, I think that's huge. And I think, like, little Deja or younger Deja was so hell-bent on, like, wanting a relationship and, like, doing the wrong things, like, entertaining the wrong people because I would want those things so much. Because, like, I grew up watching rom-coms. Like, I love that shit. Like, and I would always be like, oh, I want that. But then I would look at other people around me and be like, I don't really want any of that. Yes. Like, all of that sounds insane. So I think love as a whole, yes, it is so beautiful when it's romantic and it feels good when you have somebody else love you in that way. But I feel like it's also so important to, like, nourish those relationships and those love lines that are, like, with friends and with family and animals. Animals, we don't deserve them. Well, we do, but we don't at the same time. But I feel like that would be honestly, like, my biggest takeaway, not just from this episode, but just in life, learning about love and going through all of this being alone for most of my life. Like, I feel like love is so important, and I feel like it's something that the world doesn't put enough emphasis on nowadays. Like, it's crazy outside right now. And I feel like if people just remembered to love each other and actually care for each other and look out for each other and pay attention in conversations, learn those love languages, you know, actually be a friend to people, it would be a lot different. But, like how you were saying earlier, like, take care of yourself first so you can take care of your people and love all of your people, because your younger self will thank you for it, and your future self will definitely thank you for it. And I feel like how we were talking about earlier, just, like, our younger crazy college selves, like, I feel like we would appreciate where we are.
Oh, 100%.
With relationships and taking that time to ourselves and figuring it out. I think they would be proud.
Yeah, for sure. Baby Carrie, college Carrie, like, super depressed Carrie, if she could see where I am now, like, in a very stable relationship, like, definitely on the road to getting engaged, like, into the next portion of my life, like, oh, she'd be so happy.
She would. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. What's one piece of advice you would tell her?
I would say I would tell her to, like, for that period of my life, I was so, like, I just had an idea in my head of who I wanted to be, and it was because I was looking at the people around me, and I was like, I want to dress like them, like I want to be like them. And also I feel like I was living so much in like the male gaze, like I want to be hot, I want to be desirable, blah blah blah, like I want to be, you know, the type of person that, you know, people look at and they're like, wow, like she looks like, you know, she has it all together, she's pretty, whatever.
Yeah. And
so I think instead of obsessing about that, like starving myself, working out so much, like not eating, whatever, like being unhealthy in that way, like just lean into what makes you happy. Like I love cycling. I got into cycling and it was so fun. It helps like tone my body the way I wanted it to, and I was like enjoying the activity that I was doing. Like I said earlier, I got into Disney. Disney was something that kind of helped pull me out of my depression a little bit, just because it gave me a little spark of joy. Got into reading, like made great friends, like all of that kind of stuff, like traveling, thrifting, like putting together a cute outfit and then walking down the street, and like who cares if it's trendy, you like what you're wearing, like you have pride in putting together this outfit. So I think if I could talk to my younger self, I would say like stop worrying about other people so much, because it's literally killing you, and just focus on what is going to make me happy today and just do as much of that as possible.
And that's on period. That's on period. That's all you can do is focus on the now, focus on what you like, focus on what you don't like so you don't do that shit, and keep it pushing, you guys. And just make sure you're doing it all with love, because that's why we're here. That's what this podcast is about. It's a communal space for people to come, to chat, to hear conversations like this, to lean on each other, to remind each other that we are loved no matter what, you know, what era we're in our lives. If you're in a lonely era, if you're in your romantic era, if you're in a relationship, whatever it is, like you are loved throughout your entire life, even if it doesn't feel like it. But thank you so much for coming on. I had so much fun. I love this conversation. I love Valentine's Day. Love Galentine's Day. Make sure you guys are celebrating. If you made it this far in the episode, drop a little heart in the comments. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload, because that would be fucking rude. Because we're 7 episodes in. If you've missed one already, go back, replay it, listen to the whole playlist all the way through. Thank you. Keep the lights on. We appreciate it. No, I love you guys. If no one's told you today, we love you. Thank you guys. See you on the next one. Bye. Peace. No, Did you have fun?
That was really fun.
Right?
It went well.
Right? I feel like we talked a lot.
Yeah, and it flowed pretty good.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's hard to like